Welcome to Knoxville Raceway, the sprint car capital of the world. Originally used for horse racing, Knoxville is long established as hallowed ground for dirt racers and fans alike. Today, we go racing in honour of a brave young man who inspires a new generation of racers to follow their passion. Welcome to the Midwest Midsummer Clash, live here on the Global SimRacing Channel. I'm Peter Mackay and I'm delighted to be joined in the booth by a man from a land down under, Ryan Jones. Behind the scenes is our director, Joe Peak, using cameras provided by Dougie Beard. Knoxville is a special place, but here's our GSRC track guide with more insight into this historic facility.
You are looking at the sprint car capital of the world, Knoxville Raceway. Located in Knoxville, Iowa, 45 minutes southeast of Des Moines, Knoxville needs little introduction to racing fans around the globe. Home to the Knoxville Nationals, this half-mile clay oval is known for its blistering speeds despite the relative lack of banking. While the corners here are angled just 8 degrees, Knoxville's wide corners and fast surface have seen the World of Outlaws cars lap this track in 14.4 seconds, averaging speeds around 125 miles per hour. Virtual drivers love Knoxville because it's a multi-lane track that plays into drivers of many different track preferences. Like a slick track, well, you're going to find a home on the inside line to the middle of the track, which is sure to slick off quick in a main event. Makes for great slide job opportunities as well. Want to run up on the cushion? Well, there's plenty of grip to be found up there, and high-speed runs can be made on the exit of both corners here. It results in some of the best side-by-side, back-and-forth racing on the iRacing service. And Knoxville's not just for sprint car fans. Hop into a late model, take a few laps around here, you'll find a car perfectly equipped to handle the high speeds and slicked-off nature of Knoxville. But be careful in the big cars. Both the late model and street stock have a penchant for hopping the berm on the inside of the track. And while there's not necessarily a wall for you to catch down there, that high berm will spin you around before you can blink. The Knoxville Nationals, as we mentioned, run here annually in August. It pays $1 million to the winner. Knoxville Raceway, also home to the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum. You can see that just off of turn number 2. Well, that's our look at Knoxville Raceway. What do you say we line them up 4 wide and let the green flag fly?
So there we are then, a little bit of insight into this historical facility here at Knoxville. Now, I'd like to introduce my co-commentator, Ryan Jones. Ryan, welcome to the broadcast. Tell us a little bit more about what our drivers can expect around Knoxville Raceway.
A very tough race ahead of them, a tough night as well to get through to the top of the feature, if that's their goal, to walk away with the most cash possible tonight. Half-mile facility, lap times just shy of 20 seconds, 18.5, currently the fastest in practice. And Knoxville's a good day out because if you come visit Knoxville, you can also come and visit the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum, which sits just off the exit of turn number 2. If you can actually start in iRacing as well. So a good day to Knoxville, but tonight it's all about the action on the virtual racetrack, and these dirt late models going to be a jam-packed evening.
They are special cars, these dirt late models. Now, tonight we're racing for a very special cause indeed, One9 Motorsports, which was set up to allow other kids to get access to quarter midget racing, a sport that that young Joshua Foster absolutely loved. But unfortunately, Joshua Foster became victim of cerebral vasculitis and then had a subsequent seizure which caused a hypoxic brain injury. So a number of the drivers in the field today know Joshua on a personal basis, and when he couldn't race anymore, he very gladly gave up his quarter midget so that someone else could take it and get the same joy out of it that he could. So One9 Motorsports was set up by Joshua's parents to give that opportunity to get out on the track. So that's what we're racing in aid of tonight. But our drivers still go for a purse of over $500. Tell us a little bit more about what we can expect in tonight's racing, Ryan.
Well, to get there, they've got a lot of racing to do, qualifying, which in itself is going to pay out a $15 reward to the fastest qualifier. Then they've got to race through the heats. If you get them wrong, you can work your way up through the C and the B main. And then 5th place to the B main will get some money. It's the first driver not to make it into the feature. And then the top 8 in that feature will get the rest of the prize pool divided amongst them. Obviously, the biggest payout going to the race winner. As you mentioned, over $500 total up for grabs tonight. Going to be a very intense evening, and especially the closer we get to that feature.
It really will, and the feature race, yeah, that's where all the money is won, really, and the winner going home with $125, which not bad for a Wednesday night. Now, on screen right now, we've got Dominique Foster, who is the auntie of Joshua Foster, and this white and blue paint scheme that we see on the 00 machine, a lovely paint scheme, and I tell you what, as a Scot, the white and blue colours, they just warm my heart very nicely, of course, matching our national saltire flag. But Dominique has put in a lot of hard work to put this event on and gathering sponsorship, etc. So well done to her. And although we're meant to be impartial in the commentary box, we'll be quietly cheering her on. Top of the timesheets right now is the number 22 of Mason Clark, 19-year-old with over 6,000 iRating on dirt ovals, which I have to say is about, it's about 5 or 6 times more than my iRating on dirt oval. That's why I commentate rather than drive. Ryan, that's some pretty impressive times being laid down by these drivers already, with the track almost at its fastest state at the moment.
It is. We're going to see the track evolve a ton today. We'll see the lines move about. The cushion will start to build up against the top of the racetrack, and the entire place will start to slick out and make things very slippery for these drivers. One of the things you've got to be very careful at here at Knoxville is if you get too low down in the corner, you'll reach the embankment down there, and that can send your car into not only a spin, but it could even tip you into a bit of a rollover, especially if you get a nudge from the car behind as you hit it. So you've got to be careful if you opt to run that low line, and that low line could become the fast line depending on how this track sort of wears out over the course of this evening. And for the drivers that put down their qualifying time, they'll be, and are fast enough to go straight through to the feature, they'll be relying solely on that warm-up session before our feature race to adapt to how the track has slickened out, because, of course, the guys that run in the heats and the consolation races will have a bit of a better picture of it.
Yeah, I find it from the laps that I've done around Knoxville, it's an intriguing layout, and of course, better known for sprint car racing, but for the last 14-15 years or so, dirt late models have come here for the Nationals, the Lucas Oil Nationals at Knoxville as well. So it's a really interesting circuit, really interesting track, and in one of the corners you've got a really big lip. You can almost see it on camera there as well. It doesn't show up as well on TV, but when you're driving around, if you go for the low line, that big lip can really catch you out sometimes if you're not careful.
If we get an onboard shot, you can probably be able to see it running it right up against the fence. There's Ansky there. So watch down here in 1 and 2. It'd be really good if you went down low. You can just about make it out. Not quite. See how high he's running, though, right up against the cushion, almost driving the fence as he flicks it in. These big, long cars, the rear end, you're going to be very mindful of where it is. Again, it's hard to see, but that just adds to the difficulty. You can't really see it sometimes. And if you flick down to the bottom behind another car, well, there's a good example of it, as the preceding car just jumped over it down the bottom of the corner.
He was obviously in a rush to get into pit lane, because it doubles as a really good motocross jump there. He got some good air there coming over the lip, and that was as good a demonstration as any of how treacherous that can be. And you do often see the high line being very much the preferred line for that reason. But of course, these cars, I mean, they only weigh just over a ton, about 2,200 pounds. But bearing in mind, this isn't even the fastest dirt late model that you can get. It's over 700 horsepower in these machines, so they are absolute animals. And you look at the drivers, you look at how close they run it to the cushions. I have to say, it just amazes me every time just how close they run to the cushion. Bearing in mind, they're doing comfortably well over 100 miles an hour going in at the fastest point. So I have to say, it is driving skill on par with any other form of motorsport, without a doubt.
Oh, it certainly is. Dirt racing is so tough when you take into consideration the fact that Mason Clark right now, as he rides around the bottom of the racetrack, is sliding through here at a cool 120 up to 180 kilometers an hour as he flicks it back down to the bottom. And you can see the mile an hour number on your screen as well for most of you who probably are watching from USA, 115 as he dips down back to the bottom. And he's at the moment stuck down low because he's got Jarrett Stuckey up on the top side of the racetrack, and this will be giving him a good idea of what he's got to do to try and slide up in front of someone, as he does right there. But something we'll see tonight is what Stuckey almost managed to execute is the crossover, getting the run off the top side and getting back to the inside of that car that's just pulled the slide job or stood up in front of you. So expect plenty of back and forth today. And certainly in the heats, don't think drivers are going to be able to get away.
No, that's the great thing about dirt racing, is it's always super, super close right to the end, and we see so much of the action always coming down to the very last meter of the race. Now, I hear the term slide job a lot. Now, for some of our viewers who might not know, Ryan, do try and explain what a slide job is and how the drivers would execute such a move.
You send it into the corner. I mean, that pretty much is how it's done. Obviously, you'll set yourself up behind them, and then you'll, whoa, Tanner. That's not how you do it. You'll throw it down to the bottom of the racetrack, carry a bunch of speed. You're not trying to keep the car down low. You'll throw it down to the bottom and let the car slide back up through the middle to the exit of the corner in front of the guy you're trying to pass. Because of the extra speed you carried through, you're able to get ahead of them, or so the plan is. But then you've got to be careful because your exit is not going to be as strong, and if they see you coming, a lot of the time they can adapt their line and their throttle input, and they'll get a very strong exit and just pull back to your inside, and it'll be roles reversed back into the next corner. But the slide job in dirt racing is used a lot.
It certainly is. Oh, there you go, and beautifully explained how to execute the perfect slide job, and I'm sure we will see it used on more than one occasion in tonight's races. So, 2 minutes and 20 seconds of qualifying left, and of course, you can see there in the middle of the screen there, the track just getting more and more polished in the middle, which basically makes the fast line trickier and trickier to find, because that polished part is really, really slippery and really, really tricky to get the traction. So you really, I guess, in qualifying, Ryan, you want to be able to get out of the pits and set those fast laps really early. At this point, this is probably more practice, I guess, at this stage.
Yeah, when we get to qualifying, this is when the money's going to get handed out. $15 for the fastest driver. So there's more than just a fast track to the feature on the line for these guys and girls. So they've got to make sure they get this 100% right. They can't afford to make a mistake. Times are incredibly close. You can see on your screen, top 7 in practice, covered by 0.08 of a second. So if you get it just a fraction wrong, you can say goodbye to that quick time award that's being put up for offer. That there is what it looks like when you get it just a slight little bit wrong through the corner, a bit too high up into the cushion, kissing the fence and turning the front of the car into the fence as well. It's quite a high barrier at Knoxville, I've got to say. The fence runs a long way up. It's about probably 3 or 4 car heights tall, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's a long way up there to get it to the cushion for certain. And of course, as you can see, these they're quite unusually styled things, the dirt late models, but a lot of quite useful aerodynamics you can see. But of course, the more you contact that wall or that guardrail, as it is here at Knoxville, that's going to affect the car. And in this sort of fast and furious sprint race format, at least coming through the heats anyway, you can't really afford to make that mistake. So I hope that's getting across just how tricky and just how high the standard will be to reach victory lane tonight here at Knoxville.
Well, we got 14 seconds, 10 left in practice. Final moments of these drivers, and then it's game faces on. And none of that stuff, because It's all about to go down. And it's time for qualifying here from Knoxville. And I wonder who from practice is going to keep themselves up at the top here, Peter.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see because we only have 2 flying laps, of course, round this half-mile oval. That will take no time at all. So 5 minutes of qualifying where the drivers, unlike in practice, the drivers will have the whole track to themselves. So this is where we've got $15 up for grabs for our top qualifier here in this Midsummer Clash here at Knoxville. So the drivers all have the track to themselves, and they're effectively in their own little private sessions, and they've got 2 hot laps, so they've got to lay it all on the line. No time to build up speed. You've just got to go for it straight away. So this might shake up the order a little bit from what we saw in practice.
Well, here's Jarrett Stuckey, going to be one of the first drivers to put down a lap time. The Mid-South man, running the number 17 Stars Drift machine. So he runs it through 3 and 4, running a low to middle line through there. And how's it look for him? First lap on the board, going to put him 19.3, so it's slowest of the 4 we've seen so far. Travis Storahan, fastest, 19 flat.
Oh, now that is a bright...
Yeah.
That is certainly a bright colour scheme there for Travis Storahan. Is that unicorns he's got pink put on there in his the Pink Panther, you could almost call it there. So number 24 here, Nicholas Weatherby, in his Water Safari machine. That's a very nice paint scheme as well. That's one thing that I do like about oval racing, in particular in short track racing. With late models, etc., you do see some really inventive paint schemes as well, both in virtual and real world.
Certainly do. Robert Schaefer crops up to the top of the timesheets. 18.897. Still a couple, 3/10 away from the fastest we saw there in practice. He's got just a slim margin over Caden Cornell at the moment. Tanner Tomazi goes into 4th. Yet to see a time from Mason Clark. He's still sat down waiting at the pit exits. Is Ryan Underwood in 8th place. Where's he going to go? And now Clark comes onto the racetrack.
So Mason Clark's going to go for his time now. The number 22 driver from Michigan, who was right up the top in practice. You see him there chopping at the wheel. That just shows you how much power and how difficult the traction is here in these pro dirt late models. Getting big steering input there as well. It's just so busy, and I have to say, whenever I do a longer dirt oval race, Ryan, it's I tell you what, you're tired out by the end because you're chopping away at the wheel all the time. You're trying to keep it straight, but the car just does not want to let you do that.
No, it doesn't. First lap, what's it look like for Mason Clark? It's a 19.064. It's up there with some of the fastest first laps we've seen. He'll be faster on the second unless he makes a mistake. Will it be fast enough as JD Brown goes all the way to the top with an 18.890? He's now in hand for the Quick Time Award, but Mason Clark, what's he got to say about that? Oh, nothing. It's a 19.162.
So there you go. Just what we wondered if it had been the case. The order has really been shaken up here in qualifying. Now we're looking at Zach McSwain, the number 25 car, one of our pro license holders from Carolina. Mr. McSwain, let's see what he can do. He's certainly got the credentials and the experience to lay down a fast lap, but just 5th so far.
No one's able to run the top line anymore because of the track. Busham's coming down a little bit, and a lot of built-up dirt is forming down the racetrack. You can see it's very dark up above the right side of McSwain's machine. His second lap will keep him in 5th. So now the first laps are standing as the fastest for these drivers. The later we get into the session, Ryan Underwood, he's already done his 2 laps. He's just getting more and more time under his belt while he's got the option to do so out there. Richard Murtaugh, our only driver yet to set a lap time, he's going to get that done now.
Yep, out he goes then, leaving it to the very last moment here to go out on track. The number 33 New Yorker, Richard Murtaugh Jr., coming out in the number 33 machine. Let's see what he can do. Coming to the line, on the gas, desperately scrabbling for grip. An 18.9 on that lap, but that, is it counted? Yes, it has. Sixth position for Murtagh Jr. Let's see what he can do in the second lap. Maybe get a little bit more pace here. Getting, a bit loose there. Getting it really wide. He's scrabbling away for grip. Such a tightrope. It's just such a dance with the car, trying to get that. Oh, and he made a mistake there. That's his lap done as well. So just sixth place for Murtagh Jr.
He had already crossed the line, which means quick time award goes to JD Brown with a time of an 18.890. Fastest qualifier here in Knoxville.
So Hollywood JD Brown from Bakersfield, California. Yeah, he takes the $15 pro prize, and of course he races modified lights in the real world as well. So as we wait for our first heat to grid up here, we will give you a little bit of a rundown of the drivers. So we will have
JG Brown on the pole. Zach McSwain will start outside of row 1. Braden Johnson, Jonathan Combs starting 3rd and 4th. Donnie Batiste and Brent Fair starting on row 3. Jarrett Stuckey and Caleb Elder from 7th and 8th. Jeffrey Eddy, final driver here in heat number 1. So a 9-car heat. Top 4 will go straight through to the feature. The rest will have to play with the alphabet soup to get there.
Thank you for the save there, my Australian colleague. I was just waiting for my timing screen to refresh there, and thank you very much for that. So not long until we get going here. 10 laps of this Knoxville Raceway as our iRacing pace truck pulls away onto track to lead our runners around 2 by 2.
How often have you seen an Australian come to the aid of a Scotsman? It's a rare sight, but when it happens, it's majestic.
It's heartwarming. It is heartwarming. I feel it might not be the last time this evening. You might have to come to my aid, Ryan, but I hope I can return the favour at some point.
This is going to be tough. So, being just a 10-lap affair, not much opportunity for the guys that didn't get it right in qualifying. Have to start off the back. Guys like Eddie and Elder and Stuckey to get up inside that top 4. You often see that transfer spot battle being well and truly a light right down to the end because they're battling so hard for it. The leaders can oftentimes skip away. But if they start battling, it's going to get wild out here in Knoxville.
It certainly will, as our driver's sitting there patiently. That anticipation when you're waiting for the green flag to come out, or just waiting for the iRacing pace truck to pull off, and we will be about to go racing here at Knoxville. Once the lights go out on the top of the pace truck, which they have, so it will not be too long before we are go here at... We're ready to go then. JD Brown leading us off with Zach McSwain, his fellow pro license holder, and we are go here at Knoxville as they go into turn 1 in full commitment. And the number 25 of Zach McSwain, he gets the jump on Brown coming down in towards turn 2 now.
Good start from McSwain. He launched off better and then was very strong on the top through 1 and 2. So he'll lead them as a little bit of contact behind. JD Brown is able to slot into second ahead of Braden Johnson. And Jonathan Coombs, your top 4 at the moment. Jarrett Stuckey there in 5th. And they're all running it through the middle of the racetrack at the moment. 3 wide, a little bit further back. Donnie Batiste going to lose out 2 spots as Brent Fair and Caleb Elder go by him. Now he gets shuffled out and losing a whole bunch of time.
JD Brown just shadowing Zach McSwain here, just waiting for his opportunity. And like you say, Ryan, using the middle, not wanting to go up high. It's kind of been polished away throughout practice. So has anyone got the guts to go in the low line and risk it next to that little lip on the inside of the corner? But Zach McSwain holding under the pressure right now with JD Brown right behind him in flying formation, and already they're gapping the 18 of Braden Johnson.
Finishing first versus finishing second might not seem like much when you consider there's 4 cars going through, but because there's 5 heats, it's a pretty big difference in terms of where you start for the feature race, the A main. So finishing first give you a massive leg up, as opposed to finishing in second, you'll be about 5 spots worse off down the order. A spin further back, that's Caleb Elder. No cautions in the heat races though, it doesn't seem, because we still are under green flag conditions.
Yep, 5 to go here at Knoxville in this opening heat of the night. It's Zach McSwain from JD Brown, Hollywood JD Brown in the 14 machine, and they have just been so steady so far. No mistakes whatsoever, and they're pulling away gently. You can tell that iRacing don't give out these pro licenses for free.
No, they certainly don't. He's showing us all why he's got it at the moment, but commendations to JD Brown. He's riding right rhythm, and at the moment, though, I don't think he's too aggressive or too willing to make that move. He's happy to ride in second by the looks of things. He hasn't shown the nose at all, but in saying that, he is about a car length behind him, so he's not quite in range to pull a big slide job, and they are riding pretty close to the bottom of the racetrack as it is.
So here we come. We're just about to take the white flag here as we come around to get Barney, the flagman, has the white flag ready for our drivers. As after this corner, they will get that white flag. Here we go then. Final lap then here at Knoxville. And has Brown got enough to win this first heat? I don't think he does. It looks like McSwain can hold up, but can Brown go on the low line? He tries it. Is it enough? No, it's going to be Zach McSwain taking the win from JD Brown. Whoa, good opening first race. Very steady from McSwain and Brown, with the 18 car coming in third position.
Braden Johnson, the 18, and Jonathan Coombs, the other two drivers, going straight through to the feature. Farah, Batiste, Stuckey, Eddie, and Elder all going to go through the C and the B, and we're rolling straight into heat number 2.
So let's get the grid then for heat number 2. It's the number 97 of Robert Schaefer, who will sit on pole position with number 33, Richard Murtagh Jr., along beside him. And just as I've said that, my timing screen is there. It goes, it's come back. 725, Marcus Brown will be in third. 77, Colton Kazabinski in fourth. 22, Mason Clark in fifth. 27th, Jeff Helton, our series sponsored, in sixth. 00, Dominique Foster in seventh. And Lindsay Tucker, the number 30, in 8th.
So look out for Mason Clark here. We know he's got pace. He was very fast in practice. But the other thing to consider there is we don't know when he put that time down in practice. It could have been at the start of the session when the track was at its best. So he did struggle in qualifying. Well, I guess we'll get a gauge now on how fast he does run under the same conditions as everyone around him. He'll have to start from 5th, just on the outside of the transfer window, and look again at that front row to see if the outside gets the jump, like McSwain did there in heat number 1. It's Murtagh Jr. up top, it's Schaefer down low, looking to come to the green flag.
Yep, we're under starters orders then. Lights are off on the iRacing pace truck, not pace car, pace truck, with it's got its headlights on, but not its crucial flashing yellow light on the roof. So it will peel off in just a little moment, and we'll be ready for the second heat here at Knoxville, the world capital of sprint car racing. So waiting, there it goes. There goes the pace truck, waiting for all of that horsepower, over 5,000 horsepower, to be opened up here as we go green for the second heat here at Knoxville.
Good start again from outside row 1. Murtagh Jr. going to take it away through 1 and 2. Good jump from him. Schaefer was caught napping. He went on the green, but reacted too slowly. Marcus Brown's down on the bottom side in 3rd. Zapansky's up top in 4th at the moment, and Mason Clark is right there riding with them as well.
Well, Murtagh Jr. in the 33, a lethal weapon start away from Schaefer there on pole position. So that's the second time that the pole sitter has been beaten off the line. Perhaps a coincidence, perhaps not. That's an interesting one. We'll need to keep an eye on that throughout the other heats. So Mason Clark, he's currently sitting in 5th place, but he needs to get up to 4th to get that automatic advance. He's right behind the 77 of Colton Kazabinski. Down to the low line. You saw, there you go, slide job, but you saw him, he just got on the lip there, and that unsettled the car, and that slowed his momentum ever so slightly, Ryan.
Yeah, and Zapansky was able to drive back up by him on the low side, just as I predicted earlier, from the car falling victim to the slide job, but Clark going to try to throw it in again, gets into the side of him, pushes Zapansky up the racetrack and up into the dirt on the outside. It's not quite as grippy as what they're running on at the moment. And so Zapansky's going to try come back on by. They're battling for P2 as well. Robert Schaefer has got Marcus Brown for close company.
Oh, and Brown goes to the low line there. He's going to go for the slide job. Is he going to... Oh, goodness me. And the thing about these late models is because they're a closed-wheel car, unlike the open-wheeled sprint cars, is, whoa, there's the lip for you. You see the 75 of Marcus Brown getting a little bit loose there. But yes, you can get a little bit more frisky. You can get a little bit more contact. So we're going to see quite a bit of paint traded tonight here at Knoxville.
Clark's now starting to pull a margin in that battle for P4. Zapansky can't go with him at the moment. Looks like he might have that one. Tucks up and ready to go as Brown again has a look at second. Really throwing it in to the inside line. Schaefer's just going to hold it up top. He's not got the pace in the race. After starting on the pole for this heat, he's struggling. Richard Murtaugh Jr. is running away with it out front. He's got 0.7 of a second over them.
Yeah, the Rocket Richard Murtaugh Jr. in the 33 machine. He's putting on a dominant display in the second heat of the evening. And yeah, 0.7 of a second, not a gap we're used to talking about in dirt track racing. But what a hot battle we've got here for second place between Brown and Schaefer. Impossible to call so far. So a couple of the drivers have tried the inside line, but they are always running the risk of clipping that lip, which is so unique here at Knoxville.
White flag one more time around for these drivers here on Knoxville. I think the lead's settled. We know the lead's settled, but look here for second. Do we see a dive from Brown? No, we don't. They're going to roll across the line.
Oh, here comes Rocket Richard Murtaugh Jr. takes the checkered flag and wins the second heat. And who got it at the line? It was Schaefer. And just ever so slightly nips it from Marcus Brown. Really good battle there for second place as Rocket Richard Murtaugh does a nice little pirouette for us. So, third heat. Here we go then. It's fast and furious here at
Mason Clark, of course, does get that final transfer spot behind Brown, Schaefer, and Murtaugh Jr.
He does, well spotted. So your grid then for heat number 3. In first will be Hayden Cardwell, followed by Blake Murray, Tanner Tomasi, Ryan Underwood, Brandon Freeberg, Hunter Poston, Nathan Weatherby, and finally Adam Church. Who's your pick for this one, Ryan?
Not saying. That's called the commentator's curse, Peter. You should know that by now.
That's true. Yes, it's infectious. Is very infectious. Now, see one driver there running the 46, of course, most famous in the motorcycle world, the 9-time world champion Valentino Rossi running the number 46. And of course, Knoxville does have a little bit of motorcycle history. Back in 2014, ran the American Flat Track Series here. And I have to say that's one of my favourite motorsports to watch, and what a great place to take those amazing big Harley Davidsons and Indians, etc., to skid and slide around Knoxville. So it's not just the four-wheeled world that come here to the world capital of sprint car racing. So we'll see as we pass over the stripe, the lights go off on the iRacing pace car. Is it a Chevy or a Ford? It looks a bit like a Chevy to me. It's nothing. It's a generic brand. Insert brand here for iRacing pace truck. We'll call it just the iRacing pace truck. So as we go past the Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum, we will wait for said generic pace car, pace truck to pull in, and we will be go with these two mean green machines at the front here. So we wait for the green flag for these two mean green machines at the front of the field. Space truck pulls off. Revs will be being prepared and waiting for our leader to gas it.
Going on green again.
Green here at Knoxville as they pile into turn 1. Oh, and the number 7 car just getting right up on the lip there. That will spoil the momentum ever so slightly, Ryan.
Looks like the rules and regulations have them going on the green. That's why the leader's been called out a few times. Good jump, though, for the leader this time. Unfortunately, Cardwell threw it away as he clipped that curve down on the bottom side of 1 and 2. What I wanted to make a little bit earlier, there's a slick line forming just a little ways of the middle through on the edge of the 3 and 4. You can see it there, middle of the racetrack. Now, drivers going to have to try and avoid that with the rear as they slide it into the corner as Cardwell and Murray come together. They beat bang across the line, and Cardwell throws the slider. Top 4 under a blanket here.
Oh, there's a lot more contact here. This is definitely the friskiest heat that we've seen so far. This is what we want to see. This is what this form of racing is all about. Manners are not required. Leave them at home, get your elbows out and tough it out. We're going to see plenty of contact tonight, and we certainly have seen it in this third heat of the night. Ryan Underwood in the 46 making his way to the front, starting from the second row of the grid.
Yeah, he goes to the lead now. He shuffles Cardwell out after Cardwell shuffled Murray out. And now Cardwell's gone back to fourth because Tanner Tomazi's got up into third. And look out, Cardwell might not even transfer at this rate. Braden Freeberg's right there. Look in, Hunter Boston is right there as well. And six, huge slide up to the inside from Cardwell. Gets to the left door of Tanner Tomazi. Gets the run on him. Look at this, 4 cars, the final transfer spot. They're almost 4 wide into the corner.
Oof, this is high pressure here. And of course, Cardwell, number 7, one of only 3 pro license holders in the field today. And I tell you what, he just swung it straight over, using all of his experience there, going straight over the lip on the low line and able to make the move stick, but not without quite a bit of contact. 4 to go here at Knoxville.
Up front, the top 2 are going at it as well. Blake Murray's got to the left rear of Ryan Underwood, and he's running him hard with 4 laps to go. 3 laps when he crosses the line here. Steps himself up wide, trying to turn down late and get the run. Now he's got it. Does he go for the slide into 1 and 2? He definitely throws it down low, but the pinch is on from Underwood leading the race, and Murray has to back out of it. He doesn't want to turn the race leader around.
Yeah, you don't want to be that guy, but when it comes down to the final corner, final lap, you know he's going to make a move. He's just biding his time here behind Underwood, looking to the low line. When is he going to try? Is he going to slide a little bit of contact? Possibly? No, it's close. It's close. Oof. Tell you what, Underwood's defending well here, Ryan.
He is. I'm also watching the transfer battle because they're side by side as well. Final lap, white flag for these drivers now around Knoxville. Here they go, right down there. The pinch was on, but checkered flag gonna fly.
There we go then. Underwood takes the frantic third heat here at Knoxville. And I have to say, Ryan, that's been my favourite of the night so far, but I think that's just an appetizer to what we can expect.
Yeah, so the top 4 going through to the feature. Underwood, Murray, Cardwell, and Tanner Tomazi won the battle for the final transfer spot. Time for Heat 4.
So, yes, time for Heat 4. Your grid for Heat 4 is the number 50 of Caden Cornell will lead us away with the 12 of Travis Storjohan in second. 23rd will number 23, in third place will be Brennan Weeks. 4th place, the number 16 of Zachary Trunkhill. 5th, Jeremy Parker in the 40 machine. 6th, Cole Wright. 7th, Nicholas Weatherby. And 8th, Corey Austin in the number 92. Watch for that 92 car. We know that Corey has pace, so watch for him.
So this is the final heat of the night. Only a 4-heat event here. And then we'll go through to the C and the B. And this will be the final 4 drivers to go straight through to the feature before everyone else has to work their way all the way through to C and the B if they really screwed up the heats. It'll be a 14-car field for the C main, I do believe, as well.
Yeah, so it's going to get busier and busier out on track as the night progresses. And I have to say, we'll not miss Storjohan's car, the bright pink Panther machine he's got there. That's, I tell you what, as a commentator, I love bright paint schemes because it makes the cars a heck of a lot easier to spot. It says on the back, "My Boo, John Coombs." I'm sure there is a private joke in there somewhere that may or may not be fit for broadcast. So the generic iRacing pace truck has its lights off, and we will be about to go racing for the 4th time already here at Knoxville. So, waiting for our pace truck to pull away. Going past the iRacing billboard, it does. We'll be waiting, ready for the green flag to appear, and we will be unleashing well over 5,000 horsepower here, and it is green as we head down. All that power being shoved into the dirt, into turn 1, then all drivers sliding through neatly as we go to head towards turn 2.
Zachary Trunkill got edged out wide, grabbed the fence, and Corey Austin got caught up with him as well. Through 1 and 2 and down the back straight, but now through 3 and 4, it is Caden Cornell who holds the lead on lap number 1 from Storahan, Brennan Weeks, and Jeremy Parkey at top 4.
Oh, Cornell had a big moment there, got a big bobble going over the lip on the low line, and actually had to use Storjohan as a bit of a break as he slid up to the high side there. So, yeah, Storjohan, he's going to return the favour there for sure. Corey Austin, he's up to 7th place, but he's still got a lot of work to do if he wants to get through on automatic invitation. And Storjohan side by side there, going past the 50 of Cornell, but Cornell cuts back to the low side. Is he going to slide high to take the line? Looks like he will, Ryan.
He wasn't quite clear there, now he is, and Stoyahan cuts left and gets the ride back. So these two going back and forth in this battle, waiting for one of them to emerge as the clear winner of this duel. It won't happen just yet, as again, Cornell switches back, and they're not really slowing each other up because Brennan Weeks is not catching them at the moment. He's only running, well, 0.02 of a second quicker. Now he pulls in a bit of a gap. Riding on board with him, he's got a front row seat to the show in front.
Oh, he does indeed. And I tell you what, Cornell, when he just goes in high and then cuts it back and able to drive out the corner, get the power down, and is able to just drive underneath Storjohan. But Storjohan, he'll get wise to it quickly. We're at half distance already. It's such fast and furious action here at Knoxville in the One9 Motorsports Midsummer Clash. Fantastic entertainment here live on the Global SimRacing Channel.
Cushion's starting to push up the racetrack as well, so more and more of Knoxville's dirt starting to become available for use for these drivers as well. That's starting to affect the action too, as drivers can really roll that top a lot better than the bottom, as Cornell tries to put the block on him, and it's not going to work out. Stoyahan right back at him. This is fantastic stuff, but now there's a bit of contact, and Cornell gets edged out up into the dirty outside.
Yeah, you just saw that he was into uncharted territory there. You could see his wheel tracks in there, and Storjohan goes by. But I tell you what, talking about using all of the track, Ryan, Cornell, he has got no fuss at all about riding his car straight on the low line and over that lip. Tell you what, that takes bravery and experience and knowledge of the track to be able to do that. And they say that at Knoxville here, more than any other track, it's so important to have that track knowledge.
White flag for these drivers one more time around, heat number 4. And he's right there, he might yet get this.
Oh, Cornell, you know he's going to have a look. You know he's going to try. Oh, but Storjohan maybe goes a bit wide. They're going to come to the line side by side. Storjohan gets the power down. I think he's going to take it. Yes, he is. He's going to take it from Cornell at the flag with Weeks and Parker taking the automatic entry spot. So Corey Austin, my tip, don't take betting advice from me because he's not made it through automatically through that as well. So, time for the C-main. Here we go.
Going to be 10 cars in the C-main here. 12 laps distance. Top 4 transfer to the B. And we will have yellow flags in this if necessary, but they won't count towards the total laps run.
So, here we go then. The grid for the C-main. On pole position will be Cole Wright in the 48 machine, running the Jimmy Johnson number. 17 will be Jarrett Stuckey. 00, Dominique Foster. In 4th will be the number 6 car of Nathan Weatherby. The 16 car of Zachary Trunkill will run off 5th, followed by Jeffrey Eddy, Lindsay Tucker, Adam Church, Corey Austin in 9th, and Caleb Elder rounding out our field in 10th in the number 21 machine.
Few drivers in this one that had some hard luck in the heats. Corey Austin, who ended up just getting squeezed up into the fence on lap 1 as the 16 in that heat had an issue up there and he had nowhere to go. Caleb Elder did not have a great run in heat number 1. So, a lot of fast drivers in this heat. A lot of different tales as to how they've got here. And for the 6 guys that don't get into the top 4, it's night done, pack your bags, you're walking away with nothing. And as we get more and more cars on the racetrack and you want to see where your favorite driver is, you can go to GSRC.tv to stay up to date with all the live timing needs you want.
Yeah, brilliant resource. Our live timing also tells you the iRating of each driver as well, and the license that they hold here on the iRacing service, which often gives a very good indication to the driver's skill and experience. And of course, as I mentioned, very rare to see. Yes, go on, Ryan.
Well, according to my rating, then I'm a terrible driver. That's not nice.
It is renowned as one of the most accurate systems anywhere in sim racing. So yeah, there you go. So anyway, speaking of iRacing, the iRacing generic pace truck. I wonder what kind of generic truck they will laser scan to do that. But anyway, the iRacing pace truck lights are off. And we can debate Ryan Jones's ability behind the wheel and behind the microphone later on. We're about to get green. So our number 48, Cole Wright and Jarrett Stuckey are gonna take us going as we go into turn one. We are off here in the C main. So now it starts getting very serious here at Knoxville, and it looks like it's Stuckey who has got into the lead ahead of the 48 of Wright.
Good launch from Trunkill from 50, got to the middle of the second row and drove by both of them on lap number 1. He now sits up in third, ahead of Nathan Weatherby in fourth, the top two, Stuckey and Wright. There was a little bit of contact at the back, but they kept the cars straight and stayed running under green flag conditions. As look at Wright, look how high they're running now. They're starting to get very close to the extreme top line at Knoxville, as that cushion's going to get higher and higher, quicker and quicker as more cars run on the racetrack at once.
Look at that. We've got 5 cars here. Only 4 will carry on to the B main. So that is what to remember here, folks. We've got 10 laps to go here as we head over the stripe once more. Stuckey getting a little bit of a gap here with the number 33 and 48 cars. The 48 of Cole Wright out on the outside line there, and Trunkill, after his good start, he's right there as well, looking for a way past.
If you're Nathan Weatherby, you're desperately hoping you can get a bit closer and you can have a look, but you don't want to overdrive it, because if you do, you just make things even worse for yourself. But it's so hard for him because they're right in front of him. It's like a carrot's being dangled, but he's not close enough to do anything about it right now in 5th.
Also the 00 on the car of Foster there, Dominique Foster. Now, those eagle-eyed amongst you will notice that I refer to Dominique as Joshua's auntie. It's in fact his uncle. That is my apologies. Poor fact-checking on my part. So apologies to Dominique. I am very sorry, but I have to say, driving superbly, so I hope that makes up for it.
Maybe you should have left that. I reckon most of them hadn't even noticed until you just pointed it out. As, oh no, turned around as Weatherby through the corner, contact from behind, caution flag gonna fly. That's our first one of the evening. He'll get it going again, but that might be his night time, gonna drop right to the rear. Here's the replay.
Yep, so let's see what happens here. Just getting really loose. Does he connect with the wall? No, not yet. Does he get a little nip? No, it's going to happen coming into turn 1 here. I wonder if he gets a help here.
He does.
Oh, yes, he does. He does. And of course, when the car is that sideways, it does not need much of a suggestion to turn it around. And that, well, that is dirt racing for you. That can happen so easily. Now, we must remember that under the yellow flag behind the pace truck, these laps do not count. So that's good news for the number 6 car there, because he will still be at the back of the pack. He'll have work to do, but we'll still have the opportunity to try and get to the front.
I reckon it was Corey Austin that got into the back of him there, as Weatherby just was a little bit slow through the middle, and that's all that was needed for Austin to just tag him ever so slightly.
Yeah, can easily happen in this form of racing, and that's what you often see both on dirt and pavement. I have to say, I have to say it's a little bit silly, but one of my favourite things is when you see when the drivers get really heated, it's almost encouraged that drivers, let's just say, settle their differences between them, shall we say, with whatever means they deem necessary. Of course, we've seen a number of occasions like that, even in the NASCAR Cup Series, where drivers get rather upset with one another, and I have to say, that just adds to the spectacle.
Looks like caution laps are counting in the heat to keep things moving. So we're going to have a 2-lap dash when we come across the line here. Lights are out, going back green this time by Stuckey. And right, your front row, Trunkill and Foster in the transfer spots for now on row 2.
So apologies, viewers, once again. That will be for the features. Whoa, big jump there. Stuckey getting... oh, sorry, no, that was Austin that got left behind there as Stuckey got a big old jump off the start. That will be interesting to see what the stewards think of that.
Caught them all napping. I reckon the rules, they're allowed to go whenever they can on the race starts, but the first start has to be on green, and that might be caveat some drivers forgot about for this restart. It's a battle for the transfer is on. Caleb Elder throws it down low. Great slider on Cole Wright, and he takes it away. Wright can't fight it back, and he's going to get tagged from behind. Dominic Foster up on the embankment, sends the 48 up, and Elder gets slammed into the fence as well. For the win, though, out front, Stuckey.
Well, what a drive from number 17. Jarrett Stuckey manages to break away there on that yellow. Controversial, I'm sure, but either that or knows the rulebook inside out. So let's see then who we're going to have in our B main. So
Jarrett Stuckey, Zachary Trunkill, Corey Austin, and Dominic Foster, the 4 that advanced through to the B main. I dare say some unhappy people will be Cole Wright and Caleb Elder getting thrown up into the fence on that final lap.
Yeah, this is when it's going to get really frantic now. So our grid then for the B main, we're getting towards the business end of the evening. In pole position for this race will be the 013 of Brent Faher. In second will be the 77 of Colton Kazabinski. Third will be Brandon Freeberg. Fourth, Nicholas Weatherby. Fifth, Donny Batiste. Sixth, Jeff Helton, our series sponsor. Seventh, Hunter Poston. Eighth, Jarrett Stuckey. 16th, Zachary Trunkill. Ninth, will be Corey Austin, just sneaking through, with Dominic Foster taking the last spot in this B main in 11th place.
So one more car than we had for the C. 3 extra laps for drivers at the back to work their way through. This is where life gets difficult for those guys that were in the C main. Someone like Corey Austin, he started the C main from 9th. And now he's up into 10th for the B main. He'll have had a very busy night if he manages to get up inside the top 8 to get into the feature. So only 3 people are going to get sent packing from this one.
Yeah, so the odds are actually improving. So it's just got through on the bubble, and that was enough. So we wait for our B main. I can't believe we're at the B main already. It's been all go here at Knoxville Raceway. Fast and furious stuff. If you have a short attention span, this is the form of racing for you. And I have to say, I qualify in that as well. So we wait for car 013, Brent Faher, to take us away with Colton Kazabinski right beside him in that very jazzy red and gold machine. Lights are off on the pace car, on the pace truck. It pulls off, and we will be ready to go racing here at Knoxville once more in this B main. Starting to get very serious now as well. We wait and go, go, go. Here we are, 7,000 horsepower now, opening up down the front straight there and into turn 1. And it's side by side between Kazabinski and Brent Faher, and impossible to tell who's going to come out of here on top.
It's Kazabinski. He's going to come out on top out of turn number 2 on the top side of the racetrack. Got a good launch from the outside, and once again the pole man not able to fire off well, going on the green for the race starts. Nicholas Weatherby in third, not to be confused with the other Weatherby we had in the race earlier on in the C or the heat. Brendan Freeberg in fourth. Bit of a gap between 4th and 5th as well.
Nicholas Weatherby running the 24, of course a very well known number in oval racing. Of course Jeff Gordon ran that number throughout his career, and they is right in the hunt for this B main victory. But Kazabinski from second on the grid. Like you said, Ryan, the pole sitter, well, it'll be interesting to see that stat. The pole sitter has not had the luck of the draw at all off the start. I don't know if that'll be down to the grip on the pole position placement or just pure coincidence.
The outside's the place to be. The pole sitter starts on the inside, and the man up top can really squeeze him down. The only advantage the pole man would normally get is knowing when he's going to go is taken away by the fact they're going on the green. As the battle for P3 behind them, Nicholas Weatherby and Brendan Freeberg. Freeberg was having a look down low, wasn't able to find a way by on that attempt. Now remember, this isn't crucial. They're well and truly inside the transfer window. That's the top 8 at the moment. And there's a big gap from 8th to 9th, Austin to Trunkill. So top 8 are very comfortable right now.
Yeah, at this stage, if you're in that top group there, you almost kind of don't want to upset the apple cart too much. But at the front here, big bragging rights between Feher and Kazabinski. Kazabinski goes onto the low line inside, tries the slide job. There he is, perfectly executed. But look at that, as you called it earlier on, Feher just cut back to the inside again, and they switch positions. 8 to go here at Knoxville.
Big slide from Brendan Freeberg up in front of Nathan Weatherby behind them. He wasn't able to finish that deal off, and now they're going to do the old switcheroo, and Weatherby comes back at him, and Freeberg gets back to the inside, side by side again. Either side of the slick, they go through the entry to 3 and 4. See that slick line right in the middle of the racetrack? You've got to get either side of it. When you come in, you're either right down low, you're right up top.
Yeah, Weatherby looking for a way by here with Freeberg as he goes to the low side. Can he make it work? He goes into the polished part in the middle of the track and has to go wide again. And Freeberg looks to be just kind of edging away from him here. And could Freeberg, could he feature here in this B main?
Well, it's certainly well inside the window to get the transfer at the moment. As your leaders again running completely different lines. Sapansky up top and Fair down low, still trying to make that work. Hasn't worked out for him all night long so far in this B main. Now he runs it a little bit higher. Sapansky's toying with the extreme high line just above the cushion. Every now and then he goes down low. It proves to be a block on Fair, who forces the door open using a little bit of the embankment to get the car turned, and now he takes it away down the bottom side of the racetrack.
Yeah, it goes for the block there, and I tell you what, you're right, the room wasn't there, but he made the room with a big rub there, leaning on Kazbinski there, and look at Kazbinski right on the cushion, onto the top, looking for the grip, and gets a big drive, almost maybe a dress rehearsal there for the run to the line there from the red 77 car Kazbinski. But I'll tell you what, this is a stunning battle here, Ryan. You can see why this circuit, they've been racing here on a weekly basis for nearly 70 years. Fantastic.
The battle for P8 as well is a little bit dicey. A lot of cars covered by not much. Your race leaders coming up on a lapped car as well. That's the top 3 who got very close together as the white flag is out for the drivers.
Here comes Kazbinski is coming to the checkered, and he takes it then. Kazbinski, your B main winner, he will advance with a number of others through to the feature.
Hey, remember Corey Austin, who started 9th in the C main? He goes through to the feature. Sapansky, Fair, Freeberg, Nicholas Weatherby, Donnie Batiste, Corey Austin, Hunter Poston, and Jarrett Stuckey go through. Unfortunately, Trunkill, Helton, and Foster going to pack their bags and go home.
So here we are, our drivers coming out for a little bit of a warm-up before the feature race. 5 minutes of warm-up. Well, we get a bit of a chance to catch our breath, Ryan. What's your thoughts so far from today's action?
We're seeing a lot of very good, clean racing, which is brilliant. Been very few mistakes out there. Everyone's keeping it very clean. A little bit of door banging going on. But other than that, good, hard, clean stuff.
I would have to agree. Yes, it's and of course as the as the race has evolved, or as the track has evolved throughout the evening, we've seen those lines change about just like we thought. But seeing some drivers having the bravery to use the bottom line on that big lip there, and tell you what, with this very busy track here for the feature, it's going to be fascinating to watch.
Big thank you to our sponsors as well. Jeff Helton Racing coming on board to help bring this series to you live on GSRC.
So if you enjoy what you're seeing here live on the Global SimRacing Channel, you can get involved with us here on our regular broadcast, where we're broadcasting multiple times throughout the week. And if you'd like to take part in broadcasting with us here at the Global SimRacing Channels, we have over 1 million monthly global impressions, and you can follow the link in our description to learn more on this video that you're watching, or go to our website as well, and we'd be delighted to have you on board with us as a partner of our broadcast.
Very slick racetrack starting to form as well. I think we're going to see majority up top through this feature. They're wearing it down very quickly here on the warm-up session. Massive slick line now right on the entry to the corners, which is throwing a few drivers off and making the cars a little bit slippery as they first tip it in, and then they pick whether they want to go top or bottom. On board with Underwood, who's very much bottom running at the moment.
And of course, we have an open setup here, so the drivers can set up their car exactly how they wish, and that really benefits a lot of the more experienced drivers. Now, I understand that the drivers often for the feature race will run a slightly different setup than the heats. What sort of things would the drivers be able to change to adjust the performance of their car, Ryan?
Look, I won't lie, I'm not a technical person, and so if you asked me what the wishbone does, I still wouldn't have a clue. So I've got no idea what you'd be changing. I do know one thing, though, Peter. You need more fuel on the car than you had in the mains, because in the heats, I should say, because this is 50 laps long. You need some fuel. You do often see drivers maybe under-fueling the car a little bit, though. Anticipating caution laps. But that was iRacing Evolve when caution laps did count. Now that they do count, you've got a very solid number. You know how many laps you're going to run. Maybe even have to overfuel the car a little bit, because you don't know how many extra laps you will be running using that caution flag.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting dynamic. We certainly saw when you and I were commentating on some sprint car racing over at Eldora at the weekend, and we did see one of the drivers cough and splutter to a halt just a couple of laps to the end. So yes, you're right. I have to say, I bow to your greater knowledge of the dirt racing, and also, yeah, that's one of the real kind of hidden elements, isn't it, of how you can get the car ready. So we're going to be ready for our feature race. Let's run through how our drivers are going to line up for this race. So, in pole position will be the number 25, Zach McSwain, who will lead alongside the number 33 of Richard Murtaugh Jr. Third will be the 46 of Ryan Underwood, alongside the 12th car of Travis Storjohan. And just as I've done that, my timing screen is refreshed. There we go. Next up will be JD Brown alongside Robert Schaefer, with Blake Murray and Caden Cornell beside him. Braden Johnson and Marcus Brown will be next. Hayden Cardwell and Brennan Weeks next along. Jonathan Combs and Mason Clark. Tanner Tomasi, Jeremy B. Parker, Colton Kazbinski, Brent Faher, Brandon Freeberg, Nicholas Weatherby, Donny Batiste, Corey Austin, as you say, remember him? He's just made it through on the bubble all night long. Hunter Poston, Jarrett Stuckey, and Caleb Elder.
Yeah, so a big 24-car field getting ready to do battle around Knoxville for 50 laps. And going to make life very difficult for those guys that went through the alphabet soup. But at least they're in here. They've got a chance. And you never know what may happen around this half-mile icon of dirt racing in the United States of America. For Mick Swain and Murtagh Jr., been a long wait for them after booking their spot way back in Heat 1 and Heat 2. Now they finally get to go racing again as the fireworks signal the cars on the racetrack for this. Amen.
Yeah, this is going to be special. And of course, all of a sudden the track gets incredibly busy. We've had fields of 10 cars or so all night long, and all of a sudden we've got over 20. So that I'm sure that is going to play a big factor. Now, normally at the pro level, we do see a lot of really good discipline from drivers who are a lap down and get well out of the way. I'm sure we will see that today because, as you rightly said, Ryan, the driving standards today have been fantastic. Really good, fair, hard racing.
Touch wood.
So, well, it looked like our lights are out on the pace car, I think. So we should be ready to go. They are indeed. So we will see that pace truck pull in, and it will be time to go. With McSwain leading off with Murtagh Jr., Rocket Richard Murtagh Jr. right beside him. And don't watch out for Storjohan in the bright pink number 12 machine as well. But like at that, Ryan, that middle line getting really polished there, and we are go straight away. Green flag for our feature race here in the Midsummer Clash at Knoxville.
Went before the green there, and that's given him the jump. They're 4 wide deep in the pack. They're crashing deep in the pack. And no caution flag. A few guys beating themselves up into the fence, but looks like they've kept the cars relatively straight.
Yeah, they're going 2 or 3 wide here, using all of the track here at Knoxville. Of course, so much busier here in the feature race. It's a completely new challenge for our drivers as we see. I think that's Underwood, yeah, the number 46 running the Valentino Rossi number. He moves up to 2nd position there. Very good stuff with Storjohan right up on the high side.
You see here how busy it is. Now look into the middle as someone whacks the fence in the background. Look how many cars in the shot. Very tight 3 wide further back. Very open 3 wide up at the front. Murtagh's got it up top. Underwood trying to fend off Storjohan in that bright pink machine, and Brown down on the bottom side as well. Schaefer looking for a way through behind. So too is the other Brown. And Brown in the field. And Murtagh getting right up to the back of Mick Swain, running it right against the fence as Underwood takes away 3rd confidently and moves up in front of Storjohan. And JD Brown going to follow for a moment.
I think Murtagh made a little bit of a rub with the wall there, but no harm so far for him, but just maybe lost a little bit of momentum. And look at that, Underwood, I tell you what, Underwood, well, he's making the underline work, isn't he? He's really making that low line really work for him here. As look at that, Murtagh goes up the, oh, big contact there. Murtagh goes up the inside of McSwain, gives him a big old shoulder barge, and Underwood swells. Oh, big set there. That was 14 of JD Brown. Oh, and McSwain's in the wall. No.
Well, that all stemmed from that big slide for Murtagh. Got into the side of McSwain. We'll see the replay here. And as everyone else comes up the racetrack, he gets edged up into the fence and climbs it.
Yeah, just got a bit of contact with Underwood as well there, and oh, what a shame for our pole sitter. The 25 Zach McSwain just gets put in the wall, and how unlucky. But we're all riding on board with Mason Clark in the number 22 machine. Let's see, what are we looking for here? Oh, just, yeah, you see McSwain in the wall there, up high. Wow, that's a scary one.
That puts us under the caution for the first time in this feature race here on that number 7 of 50. These laps shouldn't count. It looks like Caden Cornell is going to get waved around the pace car, or pace truck here as well. So he'll get one of his 5 laps back. I think he might have missed the start.
One thing we must mention, Ryan, is that our drivers have the option in this main to use one iRacing fast repair. So what that means is they can take their car into pit lane, either under its own power or via an electronic tow, and take an instant repair. But once they've used it, of course, that is it done. So for McSwain, we'll need to just keep an eye on his progress throughout the night. He's got a lot of work to do, and it'll be interesting to see if he uses that iRacing fast repair now or if he keeps it in hand. It depends how badly damaged his car is. He's back in. He's showing on our timing screen. I was just waiting for that to refresh. We'll update you when things sort of sort themselves out a little bit. But he's not completely done yet. So far is the number 25 driver.
Well, McSwain was 4th, but he just dropped right to the rear of the field. Depends how much damage he's got. He might have gotten away with it. Certainly stayed on the racetrack, so he's not got a meatball that's forcing him to pit road. At least that's the benefit and positive for him.
Yeah, he's at the back of the pack right now. He's just following behind the pace car, but that car is looking reasonably. I'm just trying to look at it right now. It's
as
quite
straight as a dirt late model could ever look straight.
Yes, exactly. I don't think these cars even come out the factory straight. Just throw some sheet metal on them and go and race. So he's still in the race. So provided the steering's okay and the engine's okay and suspension, he should be okay and ready to go.
Speaking of going, coming back to the race start here.
Time for some green flag. Okay, so Murtagh and Underwood then now taking the leading duty. So we'll wait for Murtagh to punch the throttle, and he does. Waits for no man, and off he goes. Takes the lead off the restart. Lap 7 of 50 in this feature here in the Midsummer Clash at Knoxville.
Good job. He'll lead them from Underwood, JD Brown, both of them running down to the bottom, and then Stoyahan up top.
More big contact behind
from Murtagh there, and falls back.
Yeah, more big contact behind. But I tell you what, the number 46 of Underwood, he is really making that bottom line work really well. Takes the lead. He's got the 14 of JD Brown behind him though, and we know JD Brown, he's one of our top runners in this field. So the cream is rising to the top here in the feature race. This is where the prizes get handed out. This is where the drivers take home the cash, and our winner will be winning $125 here. Not bad for a Wednesday night, Ryan.
No, it's certainly not. As you see, it's up to Underwood from Brown, 3 tenths between them. Little bit of a gap back to Murtagh, and then Stoyahan, Cardwell, the final man, up inside the top 5 at the moment. Lap 11 of 50 here. Stoyahan, only one up top 6 or so.
Yeah, Stoyahan looking very strong in that bright pink machine with the unicorns on it. Maybe he'll hopefully to be getting a little bit of good luck from those unicorns riding side by side with him now. Oh, that's Cardwell coming through in the number 7 machine, the lean green machine. Makes his way up to 4th position there. Takes the spot from Stoyahan.
Good move. And Stoyahan will fall backwards. Looks like the low line's working for some of these guys. Definitely almost seems as viable as each other right at the moment as how the track's evolved. You can run the low, you can run high. Cardwell, wherever he runs, is very fast. He's climbing, and he's 1.2 off the lead. Half a second if he wants to get to Murtagh in 3rd. See him there. The green and black machine edging closer. Pulled in 3 tenths right there.
Looked like the 79 of Murray there getting into the wall a couple of laps ago. But Hayden Cardwell, the number 7, you're right, he is on the move. And look at Underwood. Oh, yellow flag. Caution, caution, caution. What have we had? The 18 car. Oh, crabbing along sideways there, looking very second-hand. That is definitely warrants a fast repair. What do you see here, Ryan?
Up into the fence. That might be the catalyst. Yeah, as he then comes off the fence, he comes down into, looks like some teammates. And he goes for a lazy spin in the end. That put us under our second caution flag of the day. Replay from on board with Donny Batiste. He was one of the guys that got caught out by the 18 rolling off the fence right there. And he just clipped his rear end.
Yeah, that's the thing, is they're running so close together, and of course adjusting your line is it's not like driving a a Formula 3 car on a pavement circuit. Obviously you've got a big old car on a loose surface, so if you see someone crash immediately in front of you, you can't instantly get the car to react. You have every move you make in one of these dirt machines is a little bit more of a considered, planned out move, so often it can be unavoidable to get in the contact.
So that 15 of 50, both cautions have come after 7 laps of running. Underwood has been pretty strong up at the front after starting from 3rd, getting up now to the lead. JD Brown's been right there with him though. He started from 5th. Good job from him. Some of the bigger movers. Hayden Cardwell started 11th. He's 4th and has good pace. Mason Clark's gained 7. He's now in 7th. Tanner Tomazi's also gained 7. He's followed Clark through the field. Further back, Hunter Poston's gained 12 spots. Started 23rd, now in 11th.
Looks like the lights are going to come off on the pace truck, Ryan, and we'll be going again. As you say, 2 phases of 7 laps so far here at Knoxville. And you've seen a big polished line at the front there. And go! God, Underwood wasted absolutely no time. Brilliant start from him. And Murtagh Jr., Rocket Murtagh Jr. just pulls in inside there. And JD Brown goes up high. Murtagh on the bottom. Oh, are they going to come together? But JD Brown makes the top line work. Underwood leads from JD Brown and Murtagh.
Good start. Look at Cardwell. Squeeze his way to the inside of Murtagh there. He should have this one through 1 and 2. Top 3. Running it right up against the fence. Cardwell not going to find a gap to slide into, so he slots back in line. In 4th place. Might have just got into Murtagh there. Looked like a little bit of contact. Murtagh's car shot up the racetrack. We're all running the bottom through 1 and 2, and the top through 3 and 4 if they get the line they want. Cardwell forced to the bottom all the way around though.
Yeah, I tell you what there, Murtagh just stepped over that little lip there on the high line as well. As we see JD Brown go there, just takes a little rub off the wall. You've kind of got to roll with the punches there. If you get that little rub, you just got to keep your foot in it and carry on. As we see Cardwell, he goes to the low line. Let's see how that's going to work once we come out of the exit of the corner here. Round we go then. Cardwell looks for a spot. He's still got the bottom line. JD Brown goes up top with Marcus Brown falling right behind him, and big contact with the wall there, but no harm so far. But Cardwell's through.
Cardwell's been running in 4th since the restart here. He did a good job to avoid losing the spot there to Brown. Might have been aided by Brown just tagging that rear end on the fence up top. Now he's going to try to go low, and Cardwell's going to stay up top for the first time in, well, I think since we went back under green. Gives him a good run, and he's going to throw it down low, looking for the slide job on both of them. Murtagh and JD Brown. Brown moves it up very high to avoid contacts, and Cardwell's about got this done. Going to send it in again and go for the slider. Completes the move as Murtagh whacks the fence.
Yeah, Murtagh getting very, very cozy with the fence there for sure. A little bit of bodywork damage on the back there, but if it's just bodywork damage, no harm really as well. But Cardwell bumping and bashing his way through to the front. But Underwood, he's got to be looking behind him, thinking, "Oh yes, boys, thank you. You guys have a good old punch up, and I will break away at the front." But of course, as soon as we get a caution, they'll all bunch back up again. And whoa, there goes Marcus Brown on the low side. Can he pull it off with Storjohan? No, but Storjohan, he's all of a sudden had a little bit of a revival here as well, as he goes up top with Marcus Brown right behind him.
Yeah, Underwood had a second over the battle behind. It was a really good move from Cardwell.
And
really
look who's
committed
here.
himself when he threw
Sorry,
it down
Ryan.
to the bottom. Yeah.
Sorry, Ryan, look who's turned up. The 25 of Zach McSwain, the man who was upside down in the wall what seems like a very short time ago. And look at that, he's up to 7th place, so he is right back in this race now in the 25 machine. The man from Carolina, the pro license holder. Well, let's see what he can do.
It's on the inside of Stoyahan, and Brown's right up in front of Stoyahan as well, so if he wants to make this move, he's going to have to commit like Cardwell did and try to pull the slider on both of them. Slide up right up against Brown, force him high, and then complete the move on him through the next set of corners. But Brown's actually breaking away. There's a gap now for McSwain to slide his car into right in front of Stoyahan. Might try and set himself up for it now. Got to be careful because Tomasi is going with him, and he's looking like he wants to shadow every move he makes.
Yeah, good strategy from Tomasi. You look at a driver of McSwain's quality, very good idea, just as you say, to shadow him. McSwain has over 500 official wins here as he goes for the slide job on Storjohan, and he makes it stick as Storjohan gets into the wall. Well, oh, look at JD Brown on the bottom line looking for P2, but Cardwell's getting the drive up high with Murtaugh not far behind in that white machine as well. But Cardwell, what a charge he's made in this feature as well.
Caution's out. Third one of the day. This one comes after a 7-lap stint. Yeah, we managed to get about
double that.
13
almost.
laps under our belt this time. And what's this one for? We'll get a replay here. Essentially Freeberg, yeah. That's not the right line to take into the corner. He turned right instead of left.
Yeah, well, if you're turning right on a dirt track, that's usually a bad sign, as we were talking about before the broadcast.
No, not necessarily. A lot of right-hander down on a dirt track, but that is what happens when you turn right before getting the car into a slide. You've got to turn right to go left on the dirt. Have you never seen cars?
You're the captain of pedantry. You really are, Mr. Jones, I have to say. But yes, I do remember that lesson in cars. I'll need to go back and watch that for a masterclass in driving on the dirt with the Hudson Hornet. In fact, I have seen a replica of the Hudson Hornet at Daytona this year, actually. A very close replica, actually, of that car. It was very, very cool. So we're 28 laps into this. 28 laps into this feature race with our drivers, the winner taking home $125. And at the moment, it's Underwood, the number 46. And I have to say, as a little bit of a Valentino Rossi super fan, it's nice to see the number 46 running at the front of our race right now. Maybe he'll hopefully lead at the weekend at Jerez in the MotoGP World Championship, but one can only hope. But anyway, the 46 of Underwood doing a cracking job at the front of this race. And I tell you what, Ryan, he's really made that low line work, really been able to run as close to that lip as he can, and that's been working for him so far. As we wait for ready to get back going again, lights are off on the pace truck, it pulls away, and Underwood, is he going to make another perfect start? He does, and Cardwell tucks in right behind him, and JD Brown a little bit slow on the uptake there, but he's got away with it as Marcus Brown on the low line as well. Murtaugh up top with Zach McSwain right back in the mix.
Murtaugh had a great run off the top side, but he had nowhere to go as Cardwell moved up in front of him and killed his momentum. Same thing's going to happen out of turn number 4. This is making it difficult for Murtaugh to get on by JD Brown. It might actually cost him the position. McSwain there in 5th place as well. Look at him. He's boxed in with nowhere to go. Almost 3 wide. Was there contact there as Murtaugh's car got very sideways, and McSwain looks to his outside. 3 wide. Very tight down across the line.
Oh, Zach McSwain gave Murtaugh a very, very big love tap there on the rear. And then look at that, Marcus Brown returning the favour to Zach McSwain. And I tell you what, Murtaugh has been in the wall a lot, running the high line there. And wow, 3 wide, 4 wide down the straight. This is just chaos here at Knoxville. Fantastic stuff.
Tomasi forces his way to the inside, pushes him up into, or Tomasi gets pushed up into Murtaugh, sorry. That was Brown down on his bottom. Potentially even McSwain, getting hard to keep track of all these black cars out there on the racetrack. As sliding up is Murtaugh, but up front, Cardwell trying to take it away from Underwood to the outside.
This has been an amazing charge from deep in the pack from Cardwell. Underwood finally getting a little bit of a challenge here, and they go side by side. Underwood on his favoured low line. Cardwell running the top on the cushion really, really well. And Cardwell takes the lead. Lap 34. We've only got 16 laps to go under green. Whoa, it's getting hot here in the Midsummer Clash at Knoxville.
Underwood takes it back. These two are door to door. No quarter going to be given now because this is for the money. Top 8 payout. But the biggest payout is for the race winner. Right down low, right up top. Right sides in the slick for Underwood as he runs it down at the bottom. Really slicking out down there now. You can see how much of the track is pretty much a no-go zone. If you want to run very fast, Cardwell gets the run. He gets momentum. He gets the lead. Again.
Yeah, but Underwood, he just loves that low line. You can just see him just tucking his front left wheel onto the dirty part, right on that lip. If he makes a mistake there, he could almost flip over there, but running it inch perfect. Just fantastic car control from the number 46, but equally so, Cardwell, he runs it right up to the cushion, but then he's thought, ooh, actually that bottom line looks nice. Let me try some of that and I'll just slow you down a little bit, old chap. And number 14, JD Brown in third, he's thinking, absolutely fantastic, boys. You guys have a bit of a battle together and I'll come and join you in a moment.
Well, he was 9/10 back. He's now 1.2 seconds back as Cardwell pulls a quarter of a second, a third of a second, almost half a second over Underwood. He's got a lot of pace in that bright green machine. Underwood's chasing him and needs to stay in range. If he's within about half the car length, look for the massive lob and the send and the attempted slide job on the final lap of the race as he gets to his back bumper again. Not that we have a back bumper on these late models. Now they go for opposite lines, low versus the top. Cardwell on top prevails.
Tell you what, I think Underwood, he can run that bottom line slightly better. We just saw Cardwell just not quite able to run that bottom line smoothly, and he moved back up to his preferred top line. And on the other hand, Underwood, he doesn't look as happy on the top line. So when we get into very much the end of this race, 10 laps to go, you could see them following two very different lines indeed. But let's see how it folds out in the remaining 10 laps here. 5 miles to go here at Knoxville.
Now over half a second between them, given that clean air. Cardwell is looking ominously fast, but he is praying this one stays green with 8 laps left. Getting right down to the end, 1.5 back to Brown. The top half of the field are really spreading out. Cardwell does not want to see that get condensed again. Started this one from way back in 11th place. What a charge it's been for him.
Amazing hard charge from Cardwell in that number 7 machine, and to make his way through, the track position is so hard earned here in this form of racing, and well, he has just been superb. An amazing drive so far from Cardwell, and like you say, you hit the nail on the head there, Ryan. That clean air, he's been able to really open up the taps, and you can see him there. Look at that, just running right to the very cushion, just brushing the wall maybe, but absolutely inch perfect from the number 7 driver. Fantastic, and he's pulling away from Underwood. 6 to go then. We come over the stripe, it'll be 5 to go. Well, I tell you what, if you're Underwood, you are praying for a caution right now.
Yeah, he might come under pressure from JD Brown. He's looking pretty fast there in 3rd place as well. Only 0.8 of a second away from him. They're all running down low now. That's where the pace is. Lap times have really faded away from what they were in qualifying, which was 18 seconds. They're running 20-second laps now. As, a big rollover.
We've seen one of the back markers go ploughing straight into exit left, and then immediate toe to pit lane, and crucially, staying green for Cardwell here. That's not what Underwood wanted to see, or JD Brown. They wanted to have their run to the flag, but we've only got 3 to go here at Knoxville.
If he'd rolled a meter further to the right, that would have been a caution. That would have changed the game. As JD Brown trying to run the top now to try and run down Underwood, but that's still not going to be enough. There's a second between them. There's a second between the top two as well. 2 to go for Cardwell. Can he keep it? Can he keep his cool, keep his composure, keep his nerve?
This has been a really champion's drive as number 7 Cardwell comes to take the white flag, and we've gone the final lap here at Knoxville Speedway. Hayden Cardwell in the number 7 machine, an absolutely flawless performance, barging his way through the field, and he is going to take the win. It looks like, just got a bit of back marker traffic there on the bottom line. It's going to be Hayden Cardwell, your winner in the Midsummer Clash here at Knoxville Speedway, with Underwood in second. What a race, Ryan.
What a drive from Cardwell. Qualified third. Started on pole for Heat 3, but only finished third. That put him way back in 11th for the start of this one. But he worked his way through beautifully. Was the fastest car clearly to see. And he ends up winning it by over a second. Back to Underwood and JD Brown. Hard charger. Well, it was looking like Poston, but he fell away very late. And there's actually 2 guys that gained 10 spots in this one. Nicholas Weatherby goes from 20th to 10th, and Poston goes 23rd to 13th. Not sure who wins that then. I imagine Weatherby with a higher finish.
Well, I think we will go to a break then, because I tell you what, I think you and I need to get our breath back, Ryan, because as we see Cardwell going to victory lane, we'll take a very brief break here on Global SimRacing Channel. Do not go anywhere. We'll be back with results and, crucially, driver interviews. Well, what a race here at Knoxville Raceway. That was an absolute treat to call up here in the commentary box. I hope you enjoyed watching it, and I just cannot imagine what it was like behind the wheel. Let's take a run through the results now that we've got a chance to catch our breath, and my Antipodean colleague Ryan Jones is going to take you through our finishing order.
Well, it was a great win for Hayden Cardwell, 11th to 1st. He wins by 1.1 seconds to Ryan Underwood in second, and JD Brown rounding out the podium. Your Polster McSwain recovers from Jama to finish in 4th place. Marcus Brown rounds out the top 5. Then Tanner Tomazi gets 6th from 15th on the grid. Richard Murtaugh Jr. finishes in 7th. Travis Doyahan in 8th. Jonathan Coombs and Nicholas Weatherby 9th and 10th. Great job for Weatherby after starting from 20th. Robert Schaefer and Colton Sapansky 11th and 12th, and Poston, Batiste and Stuckey the top 15. Corey Austin and Brendan Freeberg last guys on the lead lap. Caden Connell finishes 18th a lap down. Mason Clark 2 down. Brent Fair 5 down. Field rounded out by Jeremy Parker, Braden Johnson, Blake Murray and Brennan Weeks. Your retirement. So that's your 24 car finishing order from our fixture race.
So we are now going to be joined in the commentary box by we are going to speak to our winner of the Midsummer Clash, Hayden Cardwell. Congratulations on a fantastic win. You had such a good charge there. Tell us all about it, sir.
Oh yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, I had some unfortunate luck in the heat race. Some guys wanted to grab me a little dirty. It's all good. Rolled off P11 there. We just kind of committed to the bottom there early on, and then I found that top at 1 and 2 and bottom 3 and 4, and I really got to where I could hit my marks pretty consistently and felt really good. I didn't think we were going to have anything for Ryan at one part of the race whenever he was gone about 1.5 seconds. Then we got that caution, it just re-stagged us, and I found a little groove there, and I got into it, and it was able to take the lead away with about 10 to go and pull away.
You make it sound so easy, Hayden. I have to say it was just electrifying for us in the commentary box. Now, Knoxville, of course, is well known for sprint cars. Has such a history with sprint cars. But today, obviously, we're in the late models. What's your preference? What do you prefer between the late models and the sprint cars?
Just personally, I grew up around late model racing, so we're gonna go with the late models. But on iRacing, for the 410s, sometimes they produce better racing than these late models. Personally, I like them both, but I'd have to give the edge over to the late models just because I've grown up around them my whole entire life. But Knoxville, they race late models, about once a year at the Knoxville Late Model Nationals. But for sure, it's definitely a historic sprint car place. But yeah.
Well, it was certainly a treat with the late models today. Now, while you're live here on the Global SimRacing Channel and the honour as the winner of the Midsummer Clash, who would you like to give a shout out to live here on the broadcast?
Yeah, I just got to thank everybody on Suck Sim Sport that puts a hand in these cars, busting their butt every week to, make us fast each week in and out. JD, he put a lot of work in today, and McSwain, they put a lot of work in for this thing today. I just showed up and raced, so, I got to thank them guys for putting in the hard work. But I got to thank Jace Webb Racing, Vanderbilt Race Cars, and Jennifer Hans for all she does with the race team. And, you guys with broadcast, and Dominic and everybody with the league. It means a lot. Thank you.
Well, thank you for coming up to join us in the commentary box, Hayden, and enjoy the win, and most of all, enjoy your $125 prize money as well. Have a good evening, sir.
You too.
So that was your winner, Hayden Cardwell. And next up, Ryan Jones is with our second place finisher, Ryan Underwood, the number 46.
Congratulations. That was a very good finish in the end. Coming home in second, you get a decent chunk of prize money there. Are you happy with second? Are you hoping for the win?
I was really hoping for a win there. That late race caution really hurt me, and my car was really fast in the long run, but them short runs really hurt me there.
Yeah, you were definitely fast in the middle portion of the race. Now, your night seemed to get better as it went on. You qualified sort of middle of the order, started 4th in your heat, but you won the heat, and then obviously you were leading for a lot of the feature. How was your setup working for you? Was it more geared towards the longer stints, you reckon?
Yeah, we really set up the car to go green the checkered here, and I really misjudged on fuel, and I was really saving fuel in them last few laps. It was all around good night, but errors were holding me back, I really think.
How much of an adjustment is it? Obviously, with caution laps now not counting in iRacing, it's still a rather recent thing. It must make a few changes to your fuel numbers, fuel adjustments based off previous races and seasons gone past.
Yeah, I didn't think it was going to be on the top in 1 and 2. I really wanted to stay around the bottom the whole racetrack, but I saw Hayden get up there when he got into second, and I figured I'd try it. So I think that's what really hurt me there.
Yeah, well, still second place, nothing bad. You still get some prize money. You walk away a winner in the end in terms of the entry fee versus money. Who do you want to thank for getting it done?
Exceptional wildlife removal, VLR, Wise Power Equipment, Evan C., Zach Newton, Chase Hardy, Newton Cattle Farms. I wouldn't be anywhere without them guys.
Hey, well, thank you for joining us, and congratulations once again on walking away with second place.
Thank you.
So we're now joined by our third place driver, JD Brown, who was right there to the very end. JD, congratulations on your third place finish today in the prize money, which is always nice. Tell us about your race out there at Knoxville today.
I mean, we were just Hayden was a bit faster than us, and Underwood we were just basically dead on nuts every single lap. So just wouldn't be able to do anything unless we had a caution late. But other than that, it was a good race. Qualified quick time, so picked up $15 and then pulled off a third place finish.
Well, certainly a very good drive indeed. And I see that your nickname is Hollywood. Tell us about where that nickname came from.
It just came from real life racing. I got my car, just had Hollywood on it. That's what everyone started calling me. So just real life racing and transferred over to iRacing.
I see. And what is it that you race in the real world?
I race model lights in real life just out in California, and then go back east once in a while to different places to race for this year.
And plenty plans for some racing this year too?
Oh yeah, we raced California's not really racing. We raced Kansas, Iowa, and Missouri earlier, and then we're going to Texas later this year. So just trying to race for wherever we can in real life, and just iRacing trying to pick up some money to help support real life racing.
Oh, certainly made a wee step there tonight. So well done on that. Now, before we let you go, and especially with your real world racing ambitions as well, I'm sure you've got plenty of people you want to give a shout out to live here on the Global SimRacing Channel, and now is your chance.
I just want to thank Team Dirt Dog and Slick Spin Sport for everything they do, and Joel Berkeley over there making these wraps and looking sweet every race. And also Slick Spin Sport managed to get a 1-3-4 finish. 3 cars showed up. We got top 5, so a good run for us.
Well, congratulations on that, and thanks for coming up to join us in the commentary box. Enjoy your third place finish.
Thank you.
So that was JD Brown coming to join us, and Ryan, my colleague, is with the organizer of this incredible event that we've had such a joy commentating on. Dominique Foster is with Ryan Jones.
Dominique, first of all, the race for you, coming home 11th in the B main. Sure, probably you're hoping for a little bit more than that.
Yeah, I just got into someone at a couple laps into the race, got thrown up over the wall, and it just sent me back to the pits. So sadly, it's an unfortunate end to it, but I had the car to go up, but it happens. It's all a racing thing.
Hey, in terms of the event, seems like a massive success that this has been, and some very good, clean racing overall.
Oh, yeah, I couldn't be happier with the guys who show up to this race. We did the last one we did, the Steel City Showdown, was great. This one, I couldn't even ask for a better field for this race. We had some amazing racing up front, in the middle, and the back. It was just all clean all around, and I couldn't be happier with what happened.
How hard was it to sort of get this off the ground, get this going, get the sponsors on board to bring about that prize money? But how cool is it to be able to give out, money to the guys that perform well in these races and give them something to actually race for?
Oh, it's a great feeling. My nephew Josh, he absolutely loved racing 100%. So when it comes down to it, anything we can do to help him out and the foundation itself, we try to. We already gave away one quarter midget car this year. We're looking to give away another one. So the sponsors, I couldn't be happier with the sponsors we have. We have amazing sponsors for this.
Well, who do you want to thank then for bringing this all about?
So I would like to thank the Midwest Sheet Metal, Chris over at Midwest Sheet Metal. He does quite a bit for us and the late model racing in general. 5-6 Graphics, the Dirt Late Model Sim Academy, Show Me Dirt, Reliable Energy Solutions, Jeff Helton Racing. I know I'm probably missing some, but we've had so many amazing supporters that it's hard to keep track of all of them at one time in my head.
Hey, well, from us here at Global SimRacing Channel, thank you for putting this on, giving us a chance to broadcast. It was a lot of fun, and hey, looking forward to the next one.
Oh yeah, we'll be having another one come up. We try to do these once every 2 to 3 months, so we'll definitely be up for another one here coming soon.
All right, hey, well, thank you for joining us, and looking forward to it.
Thank you.
So, Peter, that was Dominic Foster, who organised the whole thing, and, well, we've come to an end.
We have, and we should mention, of course, the foundation that Dominic referred to is in honour and in support of his nephew Joshua Foster, and the One9 Motorsports Foundation basically create opportunities for young kids to get out there on track in quarter midget racing. That was what his nephew Joshua loved, and that's what they do. So thanks so much for watching here on the Global Sim Racing Channel. If you enjoyed the broadcast, we certainly enjoy putting it on. You can get involved with us here at the Global Sim Racing Channel. We have plenty of advertising options available, and you can take advantage of our over 1 million global monthly impressions, and we offer official series sponsorships, commercial placements, and we have plenty of other advertising options available that can be customized to suit your company's needs. And you just go onto our website on GSRC, and we would be delighted to hear from you. That's about all that we have time for you tonight in this broadcast. It's been a real cracker here at Knoxville. And thanks to all the companies that provide the software and the hardware for our broadcast. And they're all listed here on your screen. In particular, June Lalonde, a big thanks to her for all the wonderful music, which makes us sound much, much better as well. You can see on screen right now of how you can get hold of her work on Bandcamp. Thanks as always to the wonderful Ryan, Joe and Dougie for all their work in today's broadcast. If you'd like to find out more about us here at GSRC, including upcoming races, you can find it at globalsimracingchannel.com. Or you can check out our social media on Twitter, which is at GSR Channel, Facebook, which is the Global Sim Racing Channel, and Instagram at GSRC Gram. You can also represent GSRC at the track by getting hold of some GSRC merchandise at gsrc.storeenvy.com. You can also see up on screen right now all of the events that we've got coming up in the next little while on GSRC, so be sure to put them in your calendar. And without further ado, thank you so much for watching. Race clean, race hard, and we will see you on the track.